This is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we're doing kind of an unboxing here and assembly for the Cuisinart 18-inch vertical smoker. Now, I don't know if you've watched a few of my other videos, you know that I love the Weber Smoky Mountain cooker. This functions on the same principle, and what I'm really hoping is that it performs just as well. This unit is a little bit less expensive, and I actually bought it on a sale on Amazon, so I got a pretty decent price. So let's go ahead and talk about it really quick. And all of the stats are on the side, but I also have printed it up right here. So this one is the Cuisinart model COS-118, and it is a charcoal smoker, but of course you can add wood chunks to it, and if you want to burn all wood, that's a possibility, but you want to balance it out. Also, it is 45 inches high, and the total surface area is 510 inches. Now that includes two round 18-inch grill racks that sit in, just like on the Weber Smoky Mountain grill. One goes on the top level and then one is in the middle. Both of those grills are stainless steel, so they should perform very well. Additionally, there is an enamel coated water bowl, but of course you know that I'm not going to use that. I'll probably fill it with some river rocks or something. I don't have any more lava rocks left because I used the last of them in the last smoker. So if you see here, it is marked heavy, but in my assessment, I don't think it's very heavy. It says that it's 37 pounds. That's the whole weight, including the package, but the weight of the smoker itself is only 32. So it's definitely something that you can carry around your yard by yourself pretty easily. Now, it does have the same kind of venting system that you find in any other vertical smoker, where you have a base vent and you have a top vent, and we'll go over that more later. Let's go ahead and get this thing open. The first thing that I notice when I open it is that it's packed really well. It's got a lot of this soft foam, and then it also has the solid foam blocks in the corner, and this stuff really protects from any impact damage excellently, and this has a lot of flexibility, which keeps things from moving around too much. All of our paperwork is right in here, and I have already read through this paperwork online, so if you want to see that ahead of time, you can find it in the for sale listing down at the bottom of the Amazon page, or probably just about any retailer that you're looking at. There is an affiliate link below to this smoker, the one that I used to actually purchase it. If you use that, I will be compensated, so thank you. And again, that's the best way to check the price and see what it is at today. It was definitely, when I purchased it, very budget friendly. So one thing that I've noticed here when I was taking it apart is that this fire ring is very small. So this might become an issue for how much charcoal you can put in, and you might either need to pile it up a little bit in the middle, or you might want to get an aftermarket fire ring or something. I also would recommend that if you take a coffee can and you use a pair of tin snips to first cut it down the middle and then cut it in half, and then you can flex it out around this and probably insert it somehow to extend your height and be able to retain more charcoal. But we'll come back to that after we do a few cooks on it. Also inside here, I found Cuisinart smoker use instructions. And this is just a really simple flyer that gives you the basics of how to use it. And it covers some stuff with how to use it, and also some safety for putting the smoker out and stuff like that. But again, that's another thing we'll get to later. I know that pretty much everybody is doing this now, but I really like these little packages where everything is organized and you can just sit there and see it all. And again, everybody's doing it, but it's so nice to have it all clearly labeled and organized this way. I typically like to have two tables. I put one off to the side where I put all these parts and spread them all out. I didn't think there was going to be that many parts, so I didn't really go to all that trouble. But I'm going to go ahead and use the box itself as a assembly table. And I'll just take this and set it to the side here and put all of these parts. Got the legs, handles, door handle, base vent, these tabs, and then these latches. I want to be able to get to whichever part I want when I need it. So like I said earlier, I went ahead and read the directions first, but this is one of the nicest things about this is that there's very few steps in the directions to actually assemble a smoker like this. And the same thing for a Weber Smoky Mountain cooker. It's also very few steps. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get out the base and we're going to do the legs. I forgot to grab the toolbox before we started, so I went ahead and grabbed that real quick. And now we'll go ahead and check and see what we're supposed to be using here. So it's all labeled by number and letter. So all of the screws have letters on them, and we need the C's for the legs, and it looks like there's 6 of them total in the package. And then the B and the F for the washers and the nuts. So typically, unless there is some otherwise instructed steps, I would loose attach all of these first, and then once I get them all attached, then I will place it down on a flat surface and tighten them up a little bit and see how it goes. Sometimes, because they're slots, they might need to be balanced out just a little bit, but if we do it all and we force it downward, then it should line up pretty well after we get to the last one. So I've got all the legs in there, and they are all snug tight as best as I can without using a wrench. I will come back and retighten them later, but right now I want them snug as they can be without cranking them down too hard. So the vent is dovetail slots, and there are little studs there. Everything is in position. So I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and flat. It looks slightly bent right here on purpose. And then I'm going to come around, put it in there, and give it a little spin. And that should be it right there. Now this moves like this, and it is a little bit of a concern because when you go to open it, the thing likes to move. So that might be what I would consider a design flaw. And if you're having problems with this, you could put a self-tapping screw right through there from the bottom up, and it would hold it in place. I do think that you'll need to be able to get that loose though, probably because ashes will fill that up and you'll want to dump it. So I've got the latches on there, and I'm going to go ahead and set this aside now. And this is the main body, and something to note is if you can see in here, there's the clips are riveted. And I think I'm going to take a break real quick so I can grab a picture and put that up there for you. So this picture right here is this clip right here to hold the rack in, and those are rivets there, and they go through the casing. If they were to wear out or something like that, you could easily put in 2 bolts in there. I would want to make sure that the bolts weren't too long because they might get in the way, and that might be why they use this method of attaching them. So next comes the handles. So on the handles, there's these special washers. They look similar to carbon fiber washers, but I'm sure they're just some sort of heat resistant material to prevent the handles from melting. That in there like that. Then it calls for 2 of the flat washers. And then 2 of the wing nuts. And now we have the top clips that hold in the top food rack. And they just connect with some bolts here, and they're in a separate size, they're in a separate package. So I have the top shelf brackets all installed now. And next is the door. I'm just going to go ahead and put that together, and it looks like everything is on here. That's kind of convenient. So there is a tab on here, and it can either go up or down, and it looks like in the picture that it goes down, but that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So for now, I went ahead and set it up, but remember again that I still need to cinch all these things down. So I think I can just leave it like that and then change it later. So we'll go ahead and insert that in there, which is what the directions say to do, and then just turn that and it locks in place. And that's why I pointed it up. And then next will be the lid. So let's set this aside. The directions here, it looks like the only thing I'm going to need to do is to add the handle. That's a pretty simple process. So it's nice that the top vent and the thermometer is already in place. And I want you to notice this here, is that the thermometer is inset as a full-size piece with a retainer bracket that holds that thermometer in place. So if you go to replace this, you'll need a larger thermometer and either a custom retainer bracket, or you might be able to work this one in there. It's possible because it does look like a very standard size nut, but I can't guarantee that until we get to that point. Again, I rarely rely on those as my sole indication. I usually use standalone probe thermometers so that way I can get an idea. And with a cooker like these, the wireless is almost a better option, but in a lot of the other cookers there's pass-throughs or little cracks to run it through, but not so much in a vertical smoker. Now, per the directions, everything should be done, so we should just need to assemble it. So I'm going to grab the base. So this looks like the fire disc part that goes in the very bottom. I think we have the charcoal grill here. Fits down in there rather nicely. The first thing that I would do is I would get a secondary grate to go on top of here. But for our first tests, we want to test everything exactly the way it came before we do any modifications. So then we have our charcoal retainer. We'll add our base, and it has latches on it. So those latches just barely hold it in place, so I wouldn't rely on those for any really strong retention. That's just to keep it so in case you just barely bump it, but if you hit it hard, those things are still going to come loose. I think I'll go ahead and transfer this to the ground here, and you should still be able to see that. Got our water bowl. From what I can tell, that water bowl just sits down on the lower charcoal grate rack. I don't know how I feel about that, but we can deal with that later. We have the lower grate, and it's denoted by the handles. And then the upper grate. Everything fits in there pretty nice. And then, of course, we have the lid. Very smooth process so far. We've come to the end of the first part of this video, and this video is covering the unboxing and the assembly of the Cuisinart 18-inch vertical smoker. Now, I have the second part of the video which will come out next week, and that'll be a continuation from the first, and that'll be the burn-in or seasoning of the smoker here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put down in the description some links, and if you're watching this video when it's released, it just went on a lower sale than I actually purchased it from. So you should check out that price. If you're at all interested in this, that is a great price. And there'll be more to come. I've already filmed a bunch of other videos. I just didn't have a video editor to finish it. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.